Hi, I think we're ready.
Welcome back to USA Today. We strongly apologize for that technical error, and extremely we are extremely happy to have you all back with us. Now, continuing on with our conversation, Leo Stone. Um, I think it's best for you to be serious about this issue because not only are you running for president in such a a distasteful way, in my belief, and in many of other BRUS citizens' belief. However, the issue with your campaign is that even when you have been confronted by people like Richard Blumenthal, you always feel the need to clap back at them without, performing with simple civility or simply being statesmanlike, which I think is a hallmark of a good president. How do you respond to that comment?
Well, first of all, I just want to say um, the technical difficulties that we just incurred was all of the fault of Richard Blumenthal. He snuck into my house.
All right,
He ate the banana bread that I made,
Leo,
and
Leo,
he- ex- I,
Leo, Leo. No, no. I know as an employee of USA Today that those technical difficulties had nothing to do with former President Richard Blumenthal. I know that. I know that for a fact, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. This type of rhetoric that you push, and this cannot be allowed. I mean, come on.
yeah, that's really bad of me. I cannot be pushing this rhetoric.
Yes.
Um, so I clap back at Richard Blumenthal because that is the way that you're supposed to campaign. You're supposed to you have to show and run a campaign as if you're angry. You're angry at the way current things are going on in the country. And I'm angry at the current things that are going on because the President of the United States is something who Richard Blumenthal has supported, and this is really bad for our country. And so I have to, if I want to, do good in this campaign, I have to tell people that I'm angry. I'm angry at Richard Blumenthal for doing all this. He can't govern, and if you let him back in the White House, then um, he's gonna resign in a week. They're gonna let whoever the radical vice president he picks, and we all have to pray. We all have to sit in our beds and pray that everything will be okay. Because I'm not gonna. I'm sorry to spoil the ending for you, but everything will be okay. That is if you elect Leo Stone. If it's Richard Blumenthal, uh, probably not.
Okay. Well, as we just saw with this example, the awful rhetoric and the not so good, campaign style, do you believe that there are some holes in your strategy to the White House that may be fatal to your path to victory overall within this campaign?
No. My path to the White House. I think if you check the polls, I'm probably up. I probably will win in like a 98% scenario, 98% chance I win, and Richard Blumenthal only 2%. This is but you have all these Blumenthal who Richard Blumenthal is paying to do the polls, and what Richard Blumenthal is paying these people, these very gullible news sources, to have these people vote and vote and vote on the polls, and they vote for him, and which is a scam. The whole polling industry is a scam. I am very guaranteed to win this election. My vice president, who I definitely want to mention in a few minutes, um, we have a very good chance. And um, I think that the polls are very bad, but the internal polling that I've been seeing is that Leo Stone with a 98% chance of winning. Richard Blumenthal only 2%.
Look, actually, in the most recent poll mentioning your name from CNN, Alexander Henryson won the poll on who they on who the Republican Party would rather for a nomination. And although you say that the polling industry is a scam, you only got 2 votes, and Alexander Henryson got 15. Now, why do you think
Well,
the uh, the
Alexander.
Republican populace is so opposed to you if you're such a great candidate?
Well, Alexander Henderson disappeared. Like he hasn't even campaigned in 2 days. What happened to that original rule? To that original rule where you had to have a 20, you have to campaign 12 to 24 hours, and if you don't, you get disqualified. The last time he said a campaign message was on December 2nd, and he only wrote one message since that. So we can't have this is not active. He won't be active. I am already very, very active.
Hmm.
And
Right. Well, look, yeah, yeah, but
now
you are active. The issue is that you are not you are not active in the right way. In most BRUS citizens' beliefs, a lot of people would say that, you know, you and your campaign, you are pretty active. However, you never really mention any of your great wins or any specific policy things. You only want to attack, and that's the issue. Do you not do anything other than attack? Can you do anything other than that? And what are your specific policies? I asked you before. What are your specific policies?
I could campaign fine. I don't really know what you're on. I think you're on some stupid medicine that's making you ask me these dumb questions. Um,
So now
but
you're insulting me personally because you don't enjoy my questions. That's not very professional. This is the exact type of rhetoric I'm talking about. And quite honestly, I think that your failure to register with RNC is
I
quite dumb as well.
registered. I registered.
Okay, well,
Apparently, I am very.
all right. Well,
I'm
that's
very.
not the
I'm
stance.
very.
At
I literally registered. I registered in the server.
okay, well, that's not the
What's
stance. That is not the stance of the FEC. Are you going to defy the FEC right now?
well? Uh, the FEC, Lucas Bennett is rigging the election. What happened to the what happened to the thing that the rule of 12 to 24 hours? Like Lucas Bennett made a message in the FEC announcement channel, and it's gone now. Or if God forbid this dude Alexander Henderson wins the nomination, the whole America is done for. We are If he is the nominee, we will be a dying nation, the whole country. And then I will run an independent writing campaign because I am the only person who could save this country. If um Richard Blumenthal wins, bye 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 bye. You're all done. And I'm sorry. There's just nothing to
Okay, so not only are you attacking
do.
Richard Blumenthal, your
Oh,
opponent, but you're
James
also
Leland.
attacking Lucas Bennett. I don't
I'm not
believe,
attacking.
I
I'm
do
not
not
attacking
believe
Lucas.
that this specific issue is
I'm
impertinent
not
to your
attacking Luke.
campaign.
Lucas Bennett is a great person. I am not attacking him. I have.
You just said he was rigging elections.
Well, yeah, He rigged the election because he
So
deleted his
he's
announcement.
so
What?
so he's a great person who rigs elections in your mind.
Yes, he's a very, very smart man, but his rigging of elections for Alexander Henderson is not good at all.
Okay. Well, look, the awful issue about your campaign, I think, is the rhetoric, and I'm trying to keep
What's
it
the
calm
excuse?
and very, very
What's
polite. However, all of these personal attacks on certain people,
the
claiming that
next
people
vice
are rigging
president?
elections, what I'm seeing is a massive defense mechanism. And you are afraid, in my belief, to lose.
Well, if I do
How would you
lose,
comment on that?
I will be a good person and accept the results of the election. there is the only way that, although I don't really see a possibility in my mind that I will lose, um, but if I do lose to Alexander Blumenthal or um,
Richard.
Alexander Henderson, Richard Blumenthal, excuse me, sorry, my mind is going crazy. If I do lose to one of them, which probably Alexander Henderson should be removed from the campaign, but if I do lose to Richard Blumenthal in the general, I will concede the race, and I'm expecting the same from him if I do win, but we will see.
All right. So switching gears, All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the USA Today interview with Leo Stone. Now, Leo Stone, he claims that Lucas Bennett has rigged an election. He claims that all of these things have been happening all during his campaign. And with Leo Stone, I feel that there is a specific type of rhetoric, and it is attack, attack, attack.
I
Now, Leo, what would you have to say on that?
Well, my rhetoric is not attack, attack, attack. It is it is stay my policy. I mentioned my economic policy. I'm going to mention my new policy. My vice presidential nominee, Lana Mardell, will be mentioning what her goals for my administration are. And my main policy is that we need to restore America from the Richard Blumenthal era. Once we get this president out and we get a new president, which will be Leo Stone, um, I will restore America.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I want to talk a bit more about your vice presidential candidate. Who is he? And
American, and she's not like Richard Blumenthal, who is pro Richard Blumenthal. Lana Mardell is pro America, and this is going to be very bad if so. Lana Mardell is a former set was had a recent comeback lately, and she was in the Senate representing Ohio, lost her election, recently won her special election, and to me, that's just a prime example of the American dream. Lana Mardell is a very, very pro-American dream, and so
okay,
it is very, very good that we are having her as on my side this year for this campaign.
mhm. And what party is Lana Mardell?
She is an independent who is who has not made a specific caucus yet. She will probably be caucusing with the Republicans, but she is a former Democrat. That is because she is a bipartisan person. We need bipartisanship. We have to unite the country with bipartisanship, and Lana Mardell will help me do that when I am elected president.
Okay. So Lana Mardell is an independent. You are running as a Republican. Now, the issue that I'm having is that earlier in this program, you said that an issue you have with Blumenthal is that he is nonpartisan or
He's,
bipartisan.
he's
And
not.
now you are
His liberal agenda is going to kill America. You know that.
all right, but an issue that you pointed out was his bipartisanship, and now you are in fact choosing a member of a different party.
Well, she's a Republican,
She's a Republican, but earlier you said she was an independent.
but she caucuses with Republicans, basically making her a Republican.
You just said that she hasn't decided who she's caucusing with.
She'll probably caucus with my party because I'll tell her to.
All right, so what I'm seeing is that you aren't yet aware of why you chose her,
I'm
and
very aware.
you aren't even aware of who she'll be
I am
caucusing with.
I am very aware she will be caucusing with the Republicans, but she will be doing very well in her office. She
Okay.
will be caucusing with my. She's going to caucus with the Republicans.
Mhm. Okay. Well, look, Lana Mardell, from what I've seen, I think she's ran as as a Democrat for that seat, and I just
She's
want to know
now
what
she's
made
now
you
she's a
think.
now she's a
Yes.
Republican.
So Lana Mardell has told you that she is a Republican.
Yeah, she just texted me. She's a Republican.
So she went from Democrat to Independent to you not knowing who she caucuses with to a Republican.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, This seems mildly unprofessional to me, but
This is very
I completely understand this course of events now.
this is very
Hopefully, all the
professional.
Brust citizens will also understand. So, are you ready to stand up to Blumenthal in a one-on-one debate? I think that's an
Yeah.
important question, and I'd like you to answer it.
Saturday night at 9 p.m. EST, I will be debating Richard Blumenthal, and um, I don't know where we'll be debating. I told him he could pick the venue, but we both are going to agree on a moderator. I think Glenn Bourbon should be the moderator. I want you to moderate it. You will be a bit. You've been pretty harsh to me, and I assume to be harsh on him too. So I'm asking that you moderate the debate.
Hmm.
If Richard Blumenthal agrees to it, then he'll find a venue on Saturday night, and we'll go from there.
Hmm. All right. So, Richard Blumenthal is also coming on the program later. However, I'm going to ask him the same questions, and I'm going to be as tough as I'm being to you to him because I believe in fairness. Now, another question that I have for you is how you would handle international policy. Because in my interview with Richard Blumenthal when I worked for PBS, he said that foreign policy is going to be one of his top issues, and America is going to be number one. How would you handle policy within the United Nations?
I think you cut out, but I'm going to make sure America is the top priority. If I have to, if I have to work with foreign countries to stop these crazy people from getting in, like these wars, I will. But if I have to, like, I don't really. My goal is to not really spend any money on foreign countries, only on American issues, because in my mind, foreign policy should be the the agenda of other countries and not my own. Because I am not someone who wants to spend $40 billion funding another war. I want to be spending that $40 billion on American infrastructure. And so, what Richard Blumenthal probably wants to do is he wants to spend the money on foreign stuff, which is his decision. That is not a good decision on behalf of Americans because Americans elected him to lead, not the other country. So,
Mhm.
so
Okay,
we'll see
so
what happens.
you are saying that you aren't going to spend that much time on foreign policy because you care about the American agenda. So, what is your agenda for America? I've heard one policy plan, tax cuts. Give me some more.
Um, my here I'm going to pull up my agenda. Um, I will strengthen our military, and that will keep. I will help. I will work with the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, strengthen our military. I will be. I will cut federal spending and lower our taxes. As I said, we will strengthen our alliances across the globe. Obviously, that is one of the. Obviously, our alliances are very strong, but I would like to go a little bit higher. Not much, a little bit. I will grow the economy. That is the whole package of proposals I mentioned. I will always, 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 always defend our Constitution. That is the greatest promiser of freedom in history of the world. And am a big believer. Okay, number six, I will prevent wars. I will stop the wars. Number seven, the US dollar will be the world's greatest reserve currency by far. Number eight, we will clean up the cities. We will get rid of all the gangs. We will get rid of all the bad people in the cities, and we will send them to the other countries because we need America to be prosperous. I will protect Social Security, and I will always fight for the American people. Always, always, always. I will wake up every day with a smile, smiling, knowing that I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for America. And that will be a very, very good thing that I will do.
Hmm. Okay, so I have a very very important question for you. Seeing as you are not so fond of the current administration and you have
No
had
one is.
criticisms
No one
about the
is.
cabinet, how would you handle cabinet appointments in the White House?
Um, well, I will go through a vetting process with my team. We will do background checks, and then my team and I, we will decide together. It's not just going to be me sitting in my bed writing on a piece of paper, this person for Secretary of State, this person for Secretary of Defense, this person for Attorney General. I'm going to be working with my team. I'm not picking a single cabinet member alone. I'm going to be working with other people to pick them. I'm not picking a cabinet member alone.
All right. So, in the event that you were to win, who would you pick for White House Chief of Staff?
Um, I would probably pick um, probably Scott Irons
Scott
for White
Iron.
House Chief of Staff.
So,
Um,
you just said that you would pick Scott Irons as White House Chief of Staff
yeah, probably.
in the event that you were to win.
Probably, yeah. That's just a guess. I'm working with my team to pick that. That's just the person who will be on the short list. But me and my team are going to figure out a person, and when I am elected president, that person will be told to the world, and it will be very good.
Hmm. Okay. So Scott Iron is as White House Chief of Staff, and Lana Mardell is your Vice President. Now,
Yeah.
the the issue with Lana Mardell is as a vice president is that I'm getting news that she ran with Cash Moore for the Democrats. I'm hearing is that she went from Democrat to running for a a Senate seat as a Democrat, and then she went to independent. Now she just texted you and became a Republican. I'm very, very confused on this chain of events. What made her want to run with you?
Um, we spoke about it. We were speaking on the phone the other night, and we spoke about like things we will do. Like we wrote out our economic plans, we wrote out our domestic plans, our infrastructure plan that I will be mentioning on in a few days. And I originally intended for her to be the chief of staff due to the vice president who originally was going to be Jack Owens, but who was who was one of the four people on my short list that I was planning on announcing it today. I picked him yesterday, but so Lana Mardell will be Republican, a very great Republican who is Republican, who is a Republican.
Hmm. Okay, so speaking of the Republicans, why why would you run as a Republican when you know that you don't have any major support from any party?
I have support from the Republican Party.
All right, so who would you who would you claim as your top supporter within the Republican leadership?
Uh, Probably. Um, I would like to say Lucas Bennett. I think Lucas Bennett will be voting for Leo Stone. Obviously he's saying he doesn't, but he will. I guarantee you. And I think that's my biggest supporter.
Hmm. All right, so my last question to you is how would you help the American people if elected? And that's my last question. I want to leave you with that so that you can make your impression on the American people.
Um, I will help the American people in probably any way I can. Um, my big goal to help the American people is to be the America's person. I will be Mr. America, and I will be someone who works for the American people all day and night. I will probably never sleep again if I am elected. And I'm only here to save the American people from what could be the end of American democracy, which I'm sorry. Like once Richard Blumenthal is president, there's no going back. There's no saying sorry. Leo Stone couldn't save you. And if Leo Stone can't save you, um, you're all gonna they're all gonna go, this country's gonna go into potential hell. And after that, there's no there's no saying, "Oh, we should have voted for Leo Stone." And now that Leo Stone isn't president, there is no way that we could. That it will be a mess. It will be only a mess, and nothing I could do. There's nothing I could do to do my policies that I told you would be good. And I'm sorry. That's just yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching USA Today. It's been a fantastic evening, and this has been a very spirited, lively debate. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. However, when we come back on our next episode, we are going to have Richard Blumenthal, a front-running candidate for president, and it was fantastic speaking with you, Leo.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone,